Hi everyone, welcome back to Let It Cook Cooking channel. An absolute Italian classic, Saltimbocca. For this we need veal cutlets, olive oil, a bit of beef broth here, salt, pepper, vermouth, cold butter, sage, parma ham and white wine. I had the butcher pound the cutlets, but that wasn't the best idea. He used a textured tenderizer. It's better to do it at home with a flat mallet. That way they won't get so torn up. It's okay now, with Saltimbocca it's not that big of a deal, right? But I think it's always better to pound them with a pot or a flat hammer, that way the fibers don't get so torn. But it's fine, he actually did a pretty good job. Next, we'll place these schnitzels here. Now we'll salt and pepper them, but be careful with the salt, please. The Parma ham is super salty, so we need a lot less than usual because the Parma ham already brings salt with it. So just a little bit. I'm only salting one side now. Normally I would salt both sides, but because of the Parma ham, as I said, we don't need to. Now we'll add a bit of pepper. You can definitely pepper both sides. An absolute classic. It's super quick to make. I'm not making a side dish today because I still have some of our potato salad, which we'll eat later. If you make this at home, potatoes, polenta, or even tomato spaghetti go great with it. All of that works really well, so there are no limits to your imagination. Now take the fresh sage and just put 2 leaves on each piece. If you have large sage leaves, 1 is enough. Yes, and that's exactly what we're going to do here so nicely. Now take a slice of Parma ham and place the sage side here like this. Yes, and now you fold the Parma ham over here. You can also secure it with a toothpick if you're not sure, but usually you don't need to. Why am I doing it this way? Because later when frying, I want these sage leaves to be on top. Yes, now I wrap this nicely around and seal it a bit with the fat, press it down once, and then the first Saltimbocca is done. I'll finish the rest the same way. You don't need to watch. I'll show you when it's finished. The Saltimbocca are rolled up, and now you just add a bit of olive oil to the pan. You don't need that much now either. And now you put them in the pan with the sage leaves facing down first. Yeah, they won't all fit at once, so I'll fry them in 2 batches. Now we'll let them brown nicely on both sides. The meat can still be quite raw in the middle because we'll put it back into the sauce later and let it warm up in there. If the dish is slightly pink in the middle when served, that's actually perfect. So it doesn't need to be seared for too long now. I would say about a minute on each side, just a little more. Exactly, that's perfect. Let them crisp up briefly on the other side as well. Yes, the bacon, or rather the Parma ham, should get a bit crispy. We want some nice browning underneath. So use a properly hot pan. Don't start frying when it's too cold. Yes, you don't want it to start boiling. You can see the pan is steaming nicely. That's exactly how it should be. And now we'll take it out, just like I explained to you. We still want it to be a little raw in the middle. Now we'll add the other one. You only need a bit more fat, maybe just a drop. Now I have a splash of broth here. Yes, you should really use homemade for this. Here's where you can find my broth. If you ever want to make some for storage, it's always pretty cool to prepare it in advance. Freeze it in an ice cube tray, then you'll have a few cubes for dishes like this that you can just throw in, and that's great, yeah. Let's add those as well. Doesn't that look wonderful? This is just such a delicious dish. It's so quick to make. I've heard the recipes take too long, and some people mentioned it, so now we'll do something quicker that's also easy to prep ahead. Just wrap these up and refrigerate before guests arrive. When they arrive, just fry them and finish the sauce. I love serving it with polenta, my favorite. First, I'm adding the white wine. There. Careful, it's hot. The good Hoffman pans retain heat very well. If anyone wants one, I'll put a link in for you. You know, I'm really sold on these, even though I get a small cut if you order one, but I still really like them. Once that's reduced a bit to about half, add another splash of broth. And be generous. And now it's important, so first let's taste it. That's always important. A piece. A little more salt. And a little bit of sugar, because the white wine was relatively sour. We'll balance that with a bit of sugar, just a pinch. So, and this liquid here, we'll thicken it now with cold butter. That's why it's important that the butter is cold, okay? Just add these flakes in here. That's quite a bit of butter, I admit. But more helps more, you know that. So, and now we just let this cold butter bind the liquid. Bind the liquid here, okay? That creates a slight binding. Of course, it's more like a little juice, I'd say. But you can see now it's starting to thicken. It only works with cold butter. Warm butter doesn't bind, okay? So just use one from the fridge. Okay, now you can see it's thickened. Now you can also add a bit more sage to it. Just let it infuse for a moment so that the stock gets a really nice sage aroma. The whole kitchen already smells like sage. Excellent. Wonderful. Add a bit of pepper as well. Now just put these in. And now it's very important that you don't let the sauce boil anymore. Yeah, just let it sit in here for a short while. Ideally, the meat is tender and pink inside with a crispy outside. I'll cut one open for you now. Take a look. I think you can see it well. We managed to keep it pink. I'll face it toward the camera. This is how it should look. If it stayed in the sauce for too long, it's overcooked, and that's a shame. Yeah, then it just doesn't have that delicate flavor anymore. I'm sorry Taste TV isn't real yet, since I'm the only one who can try it. It's a little mean, but Linus will get to try it soon too. I'm suddenly on the beach in Italy. A fantastic dish, some spaghetti with tomato sauce with it, or a polenta. And now, like, subscribe, blah, tell others about us. Enjoy your meal, my dears, it goes super fast. It's easy to recreate, try it out, enjoy your meal, and I'll see you next week. Bye, see you.